Thanks for staying with us. And Bill O'Reilly in the Factor follow-up segment tonight, doing business with Iran. The director of the CIA, Michael Hayden, says flat out Iran is killing American troops.
It is the policy of the Iranian government, approved to the highest levels of that government, to facilitate the killing of Americans in Iraq.
Despite that, the General Electric Corporation, through foreign subsidiaries, continues to do business with Iran. Just today, a report from Germany says the Draeger company sold the mullahs software that now can be used for military purposes. And that software was made by a company controlled by GE. Jeff Immelt, the CEO of GE, admits to doing business with Iran, but says that'll stop soon. Not soon enough, however, for thousands of American casualties. The Factor traveled to GE's annual meeting in Pennsylvania to get reaction.
In our reports, they're saying that they're getting out of business, but it sure seems like there's still something going on.
Absolutely should cease. They should not be selling in Iran.
I'm the mother of a son deployed 3 times in that area, and I want to tell you, they're going to have to do something to stop making it nice for Iran.
As far as making threats to the United States, and there isn't one life that's worth giving into these people.
It stinks. They shouldn't do it. Cancel the contracts.
Well, inside the meeting, Immelt was confronted.
Let me respond, and I'll respond to the other board. We stopped taking EU orders in Iran in 2005. Our customers in Iran were European oil and gas companies. We decided at that time to fulfill the orders that they committed to us at that time. That is now completed.
And I hope the other shareholders will vote. I mean, who thinks we should be sending selling equipment to Iran? Let's see all those hands.
Dr. Borelli, you made your point. Thank you.
With us now, Factor producer Jesse Waters is up there at the meeting, and Dr. Tom Borelli, who you just heard, a portfolio manager with the Free Enterprise Fund. So you gave him a hard time.
Absolutely.
How did he respond? We couldn't see the picture. We just heard the voices.
Well, he did his usual slickster game plan and tried to avoid answering the question. But, you know, we're still very concerned about their business dealings in Iran.
See, I don't understand how this guy gets away with it. Who can say that this is a good thing? It's been going on for now. He says he's going to stop, you know, in a few weeks at the end of June. But it's been going on since, you know, 9/11, and Iran has been one after the other, threatening Israel, a nuke thing. Now the CIA says, look, they're blowing our people up, blowing the legs up. And he says, we'll get around to it sometime. But there doesn't seem to be anger within the board on GE or anybody else.
Well, there's anger, but everybody's afraid of GE because it's such a big company. I mean, it's an outrage. Immelt has really destroyed the reputation of GE. It's used to be a fine stock. The stock price is going down ever since he took hold.
7 years. It hasn't gone up a nickel.
Absolutely nothing. Now he's really becoming the icon of a Benedict Arnold CEO by doing business with Iran.
Look, you're a fund manager. If you have a major corporation that stock doesn't go up for 7 years, almost every other company, the guy would be fired. Right. But Immelt's sitting there like a fat cat. What's going on?
Well, you know, it's sometimes in big companies it becomes a big club. You have a board of directors, they're all watching each other's back. Nobody wants to really pull the trigger.
Even though nobody's making money?
Well, you know, they're making money.
Yeah, on the board they're making money, but none of their stockholders are making money.
That's right. That's why we need a little bit more outrage. We need a little bit more pressure. We need to...
I've never seen anything like it.
No.
I've really never seen anything like it.
It's a problem.
You know, the stock for 7 years doesn't move, and the guy's doing business with our worst enemy.
Right.
And while our soldiers are coming back with legs and arms blown off, based on bombs made in Iran, and now the German report today says the technology that GE subsidiary sold Iran is used for military purposes.
It's a company out of control.
That's for sure. Now, Waters, you went up there to talk to the folks. You know, the people that you talked to, that you saw the men on the street, they're just regular folks, right?
Yeah.
Now, what was the prevailing atmosphere of the stockholder meeting?
There was an incredible amount of security there. There was patrol boats with police officers in the water surrounding the convention center.
In Erie, Pennsylvania?
In Erie, Pennsylvania. I saw a helicopter. There was bomb-sniffing dogs, metal detectors. They wouldn't even let me bring in my umbrella because they said it could be used as a weapon. I think they were extremely paranoid because they missed their numbers. They thought there was going to be a ton of rabble-rousers there. And Immelt seemed, you know, borderline out of his mind paranoid just because...
How could you tell that, though?
He turned bright red, beet red when he asked him the question.
When the doctor asked him a question?
Not only when he asked him a question, 3 other people asked him hard-hitting questions, and he turned beet red, he started twitching, he seemed very uncomfortable up there.
Now, when you talked to the stockholders after in the hotel and around the hotel, were they aware of this Iranian thing?
Well, I spoke to one of the wives of one of the executives for GE, and she told me the executives had no idea that the relationship between the Iranians and GE ever existed until they saw it on your program. And what she used to describe the reaction was complete and utter shock. So now there's a lot of animosity between the GE hierarchy and Immelt because they felt like they'd been led in the dark on this.
I think that's true, Doctor. I don't
absolutely.
think since we got on it, I don't think anybody
knew about it. That's how I found about it. I was watching The Factor.
Because it's washed through Europe. You know, it's watched through this German company, then GE sells to them, they sell to Iran.
But
how would you know?
Well, they also didn't disclose it. They kind of leaked it out very carefully.
Didn't disclose
and
it.
the Securities and Exchange Commission
and it's partly the government's fault, the U.S. government's fault, because the U.S. government knows this.
Right.
And they didn't do anything either.
General Electric has a huge lobbying budget. Their lobbying budget in 2007 is more than a pharmaceutical trade association.
All right. We're going to stay on the story, Doctor. Jesse, thanks very much, as always.